Today we put a brushless system in the XL5 Bandit. And aside from the speed and control gains, there's another unexpected benefit that I discovered after testing. Come and check it out. I've gone and stuck a 60 amp Hobbywing brushless ESC in there and a Surpass Hobby 3660 3100 kV motor. It's a 21 tooth pinion. I had to order a 5mm shaft size for it, but it's the same size pinion. Gearing's the same, and we're running a 3S battery. We've got the GPS attached, and we're just about to do a speed run, a max speed run, EC0. Now I've geared this for dirt, and that is reflected in the 53 km/h top speed, and I just did 2 passes just to make sure. That's actually pretty good. That's about what I want for a buggy. So now I'm looking forward to getting it on the track. I might go try it now. Let's go. Installation of this thing was really straightforward. I used the same screws even. One thing I did do was glue the tires, so now we've got tires, all 4 of them needed reattaching. They came off pretty easily, so that's been fixed up. Installation was straightforward. I did have to order that pinion. They're always around our house. I don't feed them, but they're pretty friendly, pretty tame. I can get quite close to them. I don't know what they're going to make of the Bandit though. Sorry, magpies. Anyway, let's do it. Now I've had brushless before in all sorts of cars, and I know it makes a good difference. It just does. But what I didn't account for in this case was how much nicer it would fly through the air. It's so much more planted and it's easier to control. You get a faster response. We've got foam there so that the battery sits like it's too small for this tray. You could 3D print or cut a piece of foam to fit this pack in, but having the smaller pack than a 5 amp big brick makes all the difference to handling. It was too heavy before. So that combined with the extra peppiness, I've got a little bit more air authority, a teeny bit, not a lot because it's just rear wheel drive, makes this thing just a pleasure to drive. I'm just going to ease back into being on the track because it's been a while. Oh, that's so nice. It's so nice, guys. I actually wasn't after more speed necessarily. Well, I was after a little more speed, but what I was after was a longer battery life, more efficiency, because brushless, oh, it's so good. Brushless gives you that efficiency and also a more linear torque curve. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but the brushed motor ran out of puff pretty easily. You really had to squeeze the throttle on quite a bit at different proportions of throttle, and I've got quite a lot of brushless vehicles and I've had a lot of brushed ones too. I just like the feel of a brushless better, even though this is a cheap system. We're talking, look, I don't know how much they are, I'll put them on screen, but the 60 amp Hobbywing brushless is a great basic servo, ESC. I've kept the stock servo, and the Surpass Hobby, I don't like all their stuff. Their brush motors are pretty weak compared to other options out there. Although you get what you pay for with brush motors in particular. Cheap motors give you cheap, weaker magnets often, not always. Right. But they're basic brushed motors, the red cans. I've had them in several sizes, the 2880s, the 3660s, especially they're the main ones I've had. Oh, this is so nice. Now the other thing that's nice about the greater efficiency, you remember this was a tough jump previously? What if we can get a bit closer here? You might remember in my review if you've seen it. Oh, if you haven't seen it, check out the review. There's a link to it. It's in the description too. I like the Bandit, and after I made my first review and wrote the article about it, it's on my website. Oh, we've picked up a stick or something. No. There we have. What do we got? Oh yeah, we picked up a leaf and a stick. There we go. It's really basic, this car underneath. Yeah, after I wrote it, I looked into it a bit more because it had been a while since I'd played with these little vehicles, and the Bandit is still popular in many off-road racing clubs. It's just such a great little platform. cheap, easy to upgrade, easy to repair. Oh, now I had trouble with this jump in the review. That's what I was saying. Part of the problem is it was just hard to control in the air. And the nice thing about having a higher efficiency brushless motor is I don't need to stick a big, heavy 5 amp battery in. I'm running on a 2200 milliamp hour LiPo here. And I've got a bit of foam behind it, so it's got a forward bias weight in the battery tray. And that seems to have balanced it quite well, because I wanted a bit of weight in the front. Oh, it's so planted now. I couldn't actually go this direction without crashing awfully before. But being able to have a smaller battery means our weight bias is so much better. It just flies so well. I haven't hit full throttle at all except on the speed run we just did. This is delightful. This is so much better. All right, we'll have a little chat. I can't recommend it enough. Now, any VXL owners will be nodding along saying, yeah, we know it's good, Craig. But if you started with the brush, because I wanted to start on a budget side of things, and you build it on a budget too, without going super cheap, like we still used a Hobbywing. It's the 10BL60. It's a censored ESC, but not a censored motor. That's absolutely fine, and it's really fun. Highly recommend it. I think the gearing is about perfect, because on all these laps, I never left half throttle. On a bigger straight, if you had a bigger track, you'd be able to pin it. It's still controllable. I think it's just about perfect. So 3100 kV, 21 tooth pinion, 60 amp ESC, and a 3660 brushless motor. Perfect. Well, I really appreciate you watching, guys. Throw me a like if you got something out of this, and I'll catch you next time on RC-TNT.